Hey everyone, it's Elle Hayes. Welcome back to my channel. I'm not even going to apologize for being so long because I don't have a good excuse. I really don't. As you may see, we're kind of changed angle-wise. Well, that'll be brought up shortly. The other side doesn't look very pleasant. I mean, I can even show you. Clearly not. Also ignore that. That was fine. Everyone's fine. So I wanted to kind of go over this last year of focusing on being a creative. And while it might seem weird timing-wise, because clearly New Year's has very much passed, there are two main reasons why timing makes sense right now. One, it was around this time that I kind of shifted towards focusing on the creative aspects of my life. And two, my birthday is this week. So a lot has changed since I turned 24 to when I'm about to turn 25, and I want to share all of that with you and kind of show you how much can happen in a year if you really focus and put your heart into it. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So you may or may not remember, I don't know if I talked about it that much on this channel thus far, but, sorry, it's a very squeaky chair. I'm gonna have a different chair soon, but not right now. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but last year, or I guess 2 years ago at this point, when everything changed, I was at a different job, and that job made me incredibly miserable. It was a job where I was told all the time that I should be grateful to be working there because people would kill to be in my position. And that's fine. And clearly that job works for a lot of people, and it was in the field I'd been in for pretty much my whole life. And it was hard to walk away from that because it was very daunting to think I was walking away from a career path I'd built up since I was a child to hopefully pursue the artistic end of the industry. I was very nervous leaving, and I did it very spur of the moment. I kind of just had it, and I needed time to breathe, and I quit the job and thankfully was hired at my new job within a couple days. That was at the end of January of 2019, yeah. I left that job on a very last minute decision, but it was the best decision I've ever made. I left a job that made me so anxious all of the time, didn't pay enough, and expected me to give up my entire life to do that job. That, yet again, works for some people. I'm not who that works for. And I think it made me realize what I really wanted out of that industry, the music industry. I wanted to become an artist, and I think I'd never put my heart and soul into that because I didn't think I was good enough. And you can still say I'm not. That's totally fine, and your opinions are allowed. But I needed to give myself this opportunity to try. So I made that shift, got a brand new job in a different career field. Since then, I've taken on a lot of different jobs at this company. I'd like to say I've moved up. I'll know after my review. And then, in addition to that, I started a band. We played our first show. We played 3 or 4 shows over the course of the last year. It wasn't our primary focus because we wanted to focus on making content, making music, getting an EP together, and hopefully getting that out to you soon in the beginning of this year. Hey everyone, we're Chasing Kites. This is an original song for you called Serendipitous Mistake. But I was really proud of myself because I performed my first show ever with that band. And I was very nervous. There's footage, I can give you clips throughout this video of everything I'm going to be discussing, but I was shaking during our first show. It's not as easy to see in the footage, but I remember my legs were unable to just sit still. Had a dream last night, we I was very nervous, and I was just afraid to mess up, which is understandable, but I was proud of myself. I pushed myself to do something that was very much outside of my comfort zone, and that's not super like me. I think this entire last year has been not what I expected myself to do in a very positive way. I'm not someone who enjoys change, and it's scary for me to step outside this box and push myself, but I know that in the end I'm going to be happier with myself. So then I started to do YouTube. That was right actually around, I actually started to do YouTube right around when I got my last job. I was about to start doing it, and then the last job took up all my time. So when I left and got to a job that gave me more time to be creative, I immediately started up my YouTube channel. I started with 10 subscribers because there were just a few people who'd subscribed to me over the years, even though I had no content. And I'm now at, I think, 67. It fluctuates each day because I haven't been consistent, which is fair. But I'm just proud of even getting to that point, despite the fact that I probably haven't grown as quickly as other creators, and that's okay. This is very much an outlet for me and not where I'm expecting to see a lot of return, and that's okay. So during this past year, some major things that I did to push myself creatively included joining Twitch. I hadn't even considered being a part of Twitch prior to this job change and this life shift. I met this group, Nerds Alive. I knew two of them prior from high school and middle school. One of them I've actually known most of my life. Anyway, they're a Twitch channel that does D&D, and they introduced me to the D&D world, and that's been so much fun to explore and stuff that I never thought I'd ever get into. It's funny because I had a cousin that was into tabletop RPGs, and he always showed my brother how this stuff worked, and I always wanted to be part of it, but it was very much, oh, the older boy cousin is showing the younger boy cousin his interests, and the girl cousin was left out. And I was bummed because I love that stuff, and I'm excited to now be a part of it. And because of them, I started my own Twitch channel. What window is there open? Oh, this one? I don't really want to go in this man's house. Oh my god! I just want you all to remember that that was like birds or bats, and I literally almost died. And I've already become a Twitch affiliate. I have some subscribers. It just feels great to see something paying off and to see people enjoying some content that I'm putting out. The thing I really have enjoyed about Twitch is its immediate feedback, and you're really growing with a community. I don't feel it as much on YouTube. I think there's a huge disconnect between creator and audience member on YouTube. I film this, I edit it, and I put it up, and you consume it. Could be days, weeks, months, years later. You're not having that immediate interaction over the content I've put up. You can, but it's not necessarily happening, and not all creators view their comments after. I also think Twitch has made me care less about the rude comments overall. You get some people popping into your chats, their names are practically anonymous, and they'll say something rude and they'll leave. And while that could sting a little bit, it's made YouTube comments pretty much not hurt as much. I had a few people who liked to comment on my band stuff, saying that I shouldn't be in the band, which is fine. You're, yet again, allowed your opinion. But as someone newer to being in a band and being a singer and being a writer, those are hard things to necessarily take in initially. So I think being a part of Twitch and showing my face on camera, and even I've done one singing stream, going through that and having immediate feedback, you kind of get a thicker skin, which is necessary in the field I want. And through our Twitch channels, we've also made a group Discord, and I really like that because our community on Nerds Alive is very much meshed with my community on LHaze 13. a lot of them tend to be the same people, but also the interests are very similar, so it makes sense to have one giant family to join on Discord, which you should join, by the way. It's a great place. It's fun. I post probably too often in it, but it's okay. It's fun. Through Twitch, I've made a lot of new friends, especially through Nerds Alive. The fact that I've made this group of friends that I didn't have legitimately a year or so prior is kind of mind-boggling to me. And I'm grateful. It makes it so clear to me that I made the right choice with all the positives that have come out of it. And I just don't know where I'd be if I hadn't made that choice a year ago. It's kind of interesting to think about. I've paid off all of my private student loans. I still have government student loans, but those are close to be paying off, thankfully. But I was able to do that because I am lucky enough to be able to stay home to save the money. I got to travel to Europe for the very first time last year, which was by far my favorite trip I've ever been on. I just gotta see it for myself. I'm in the corner watching you kiss her. Oh. Like videoing all this. I'm right over here. Why can't you see me? Oh. I'll be I smiled the entire time, and I think something I'll get into later, but I think I've sometimes allowed my anxieties and depression over stuff really ruin moments in life, and I think that was one of the first trips I didn't let it, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for that growing experience. And the very last big thing for this year, I am moving out. I'm moving out actually in a few days. And I'm stupid excited. I'm moving out on Valentine's Day, which is maybe stupid, but awesome. A video like this helps me put into perspective why I've done the things I've done and why I've made the sacrifices that I've made. Because all of this makes all the BS worth it, makes all the hard days worth it, because I'm feeling like I'm expressing myself through all these different avenues of art and creativity. And I'm also meeting people through it. I'm building connections with other creative individuals. And I'm also just overall happier. And it's so silly to say how much that matters, but I was so miserable over a year ago that seeing where I am now, there just aren't words. Nothing compares to this feeling, and nothing I was putting up with was worth sacrificing my happiness. So this video wasn't to just brag about all these things I've accomplished this year. The point of it is, if you're in a rut, if you're in a shitty situation, and you feel as if it's not going to turn around and you can't improve upon where you are, I promise you can. I promise so much can happen in a year if you put your mind to it. I scheduled out all of my days. I had all of my days scheduled with either prepping creative stuff or filming something, shooting something, drawing something, writing something. I had every moment planned. And that's not to say that I always stuck to it, but at least the majority of the time I did, and that's why I am where I am now, and I've seen the progress I've made in all these fields. Even if some have paid off more than others, I'm grateful for each area that I've worked on, and it just made me a better person, and I think it's helped improve my art. So I know this was rambly, but I really appreciate all of you. I appreciate anyone who watches these silly videos of me talking about my life, talking about my experiences, and I felt this video, as stupid as it might be, made sense because the very first video I did on here was I wanted to make this channel about life and that journey, and I wanted people to take that journey of life with me.
Lately, I feel lost. I'm 20-something.
Hey guys, it's Elle Hayes. Thanks so much for checking out this video. And this very much is summing up a huge part of my life right now and how far I've come. So I hope your takeaway from this is, whatever your situation, find something to hold on to in it that you can make something beautiful out of, that you can make positive. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks. As per usual, I almost forgot to film the outro. So if you enjoyed this video, please click some other videos, subscribe, like, come hang out, be a part of the fam. I promise you'll love it here.